Hello, my curious souls. Welcome into Wandering Soul Tarot. My name is Amanda. Whether you're new here or returning, thank you so much for being here. I invite you to settle in, get comfortable, and let's dive deep into today's tarot reading. I just want to offer my gratitude and thanks for the donations that have been coming in and all of the new subscribers. Hello, and thank you so much. Your appreciation for my work here through your likes, subscribes, comments, donations, and purchases of personal tarot readings really help let me know that you are all enjoying what I'm offering and allows me to continue to do this work with great love and appreciation. So thank you so much. Today's tarot reading is a collective tarot reading, and I'm not sure specifically what the focus is going to be. I do have a channeled message that I will share, and we will draw cards to see what strongest energies and messages want to come forward. Remember, the messages in these readings are meant to serve as confirmation. So if something doesn't resonate or feels off, please trust yourself and your intuition and leave it behind for who it is meant for. But if you do resonate with the reading today and you'd like to explore your own situation a little further, you can book a personal reading using the link in the description box. Now, before we get into the reading, I do want to chat a little bit about the channeled message that came through today. It was kind of through an experience, and I had to chuckle, and it felt a little profound, which is why I'm sharing it in this reading, and why I want to draw cards. So I was eating dinner, and a little fruit fly was in my peripheral vision, and it looked massive because it was so close and it was just off to the side, and I thought it was an eagle out in my backyard because it looked so big, and it scared me. It startled me, and I looked to the side and I saw this blurry, teeny tiny little fly that I thought was a huge eagle in my backyard. But because I was so close to it, the perception was off. I wasn't able to determine what it was, how big it was, how close or far away it was, because my perception was skewed. So the message that I got from that was, I feel like there's some distance that is needed in somebody's particular situation in order to gain the appropriate perspective. So the moon came through in that moment. The moon card came into my mind's eye. And when the moon card comes out, it typically indicates a period of confusion or mystery or secrets and a journey through the dark, where the shadows look real. Think back of when you were a child and you saw some clothes thrown over a chair in the dark and it looked like a monster. So when the lights turned on, you realized that it was the clothes, but in the dark, their perception was skewed. So there's something about your perception being skewed because you're too close to something or you're not seeing it in the way that you need to. So to create that distance between you and that thing in order for the perception to correct itself. A really interesting message, but I do want to pull cards on this just to see what comes through. And I hope this is the right deck. Let's see what comes forward. Spirit, what would you like to talk about today? Ah, okay. All right. So they did want to talk about it. We have all that glitters. So exactly, all that glitters. Something is kind of getting your attention. Something isn't what it seems. All that glitters is not gold. The fruit flies are not the eagles. There's something being masked. And I don't know if this is because you're not seeing it clearly or someone's presenting something in a way that skews the perception of things to make it look better than it actually is. And maybe there's promises that are being made, or maybe there's something kind of shiny that you're being distracted by, which isn't allowing you to see the reality or the truth. Ooh, okay. speaking of perceptions and the moon card, I am going to pull card. Okay, this is silly. I keep thinking I have the whole deck, and then there's cards that are being left on the desk. So again, thinking that you have the whole picture, but you don't. There's things that are being missed or left behind. What are these things, Spirit? What are these things? All that glitters. What are these things that are being skewed, left behind, being missed? 2 cards. Okay, something in the synchronicity. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's helpful or more confusing. Strongest energy, 1 more. I want to actually we'll stay on track. We'll stay on track. 1 more, Spirit, for all that glitters. What's being... What? Synchronicity and meant to be. Okay. These feel like fate cards. And that feels really weird to have kind of fated cards in the midst of something that feels too good to be true. Of deception, maybe manipulation. Maybe there's a synchronicity that you are missing. And I don't usually like the term meant to be. Oh, okay. That could be something. Okay. I'm getting something very strong here. And I don't know, I'm hearkening back to a time that I've never lived, but I've probably only lived through movies and TV shows. But I'm getting Murdoch Mysteries. I love that show. I don't know if anybody here watches it, but it's a lovely Canadian show on CBC. It's a mystery show. It's quite delightful. And I'm recalling something from that show. And it's kind of like they're at a fair, and I don't even know if it was part of the show. Anyways, I'm at a fair in the late 1800s, and you have all of these magicians and psychics and fortune tellers and tarot readers that are trying to impress you and entertain you, but in that process they're deceiving you to make you think you're seeing something or feeling something or experiencing something that you're not. And that's what I'm getting with these 2 cards. It's almost like magician energy, but in the reverse. So it's not someone who is creating from a place of pure intention and love and ambition. I feel there's somebody around you that is trying to, I want to say, pull the wool over your eyes or make you think that the synchronicities mean more than they do, or like we're meant to be. And I say that because I'm not a fan of this phrase, personally, because I don't believe that everything is meant to be. There are situations that simply happen. We're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we didn't ask for it. We didn't intend for anything bad to happen. It just happens. And some of these things are quite tragic and traumatic and painful. So by saying it was meant to be, I feel is adding to that pain and trauma. And so I feel like there could be somebody around you, or maybe you're watching a tarot reader that is saying, this was meant to be, just accept it, watch for the synchronicity. Like there's something that they're trying to get you to overlook. Now, this could be a friend, could be a coach, a lover, or a romantic partner. There's an underlying toxicity that I'm getting from this. And it's like a shiny, exciting thing, but I feel like this is, again, I'm getting that distance. We need to distance ourselves from this energy, because the synchronicities that maybe you think you see or feel have been, what's the word? Not crafted, but there's a word. They have been, I don't want to say set up. I don't even know if I'm right on this. We need more cards. We need cards. More cards, more cards. Okay, I need to know. More details, please, Spirit. Synchronicity. Wrong deck. Okay. We'll give this a try. I'm being told to pull from this and then get tarot. I definitely feel a sense of deception and manipulation here. That is kind of the underlying feeling that I'm getting from this. So somebody's telling you something and, oh, it's beautiful and it's okay and we're great and it's good and what about this and don't forget that, and when really I think your intuition is telling you something that they're trying to get you to ignore. Okay, so 2 cards. More details, please, on this, Spirit. Strength. One more. They're like leading you into a storm, it feels like. They're leading you into a place that's choppy and it's like you think you're following a star. Sorry, there's something I heard downstairs and it freaked me out. Impulse. So what I was saying there before I got freaked out by something happening downstairs, it's like I'm just noticing the stars in this card. It's like you think you're following a star, something beautiful and something lovely and shiny and hopeful, but you're being led into a storm. This is very abstract. And impulse. This could have been an impulsive decision. Maybe you signed up for something or you committed to something that was quite impulsive, and maybe you felt like the stars were aligning, but maybe now that you're in it, you're starting to see the cracks. You're starting to see the reality of the situation. So again, I'm getting that distance. And again, this could be something, oh, interesting. I'm seeing the doves here. So again, somebody is maybe promising you something hopeful and helpful, but they're kind of leading you down a garden path. But they're framing it as, oh, you're going to love this. This is going to be great. It was meant to be. I don't know. Is this it could be a love connection? This could be a narcissistic connection. Okay, more details, please. Let's get the lowdown on this. Details. Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. Okay, details. Let's get details. What is the Spirit? Tell us more. Tell us more. Okay, so definitely this person is... we have the 3 of Pentacles here in reverse. So somebody's not cooperating, not really part of your team. 8 of Wands in reverse. What is this? 8 of Wands in reverse. All that glitters. I wonder if this is advice. Let's see. Yep, okay. One more, please, and then we'll call that good. Okay. We have the 6 of Wands in the reverse. And the Page of Wands in the reverse. Okay. You have a lot of reversals here, which I feel is indicating a blockage to your manifestation. The 8 of Wands in the upright is that movement forward, but in reverse, it is delays or stagnation. We have the Six of Wands in reverse, which is reward and recognition or lack thereof. So that immediately makes me feel like underneath it all, the situation won't move you to where you want to go and won't give you the reward that you're looking for or think that you're getting or being led to believe that you'll eventually get. There's a very scattered energy here coming out with the Page of Wands. Lack of direction, feeling lost. It's like you've started something new, but you feel almost more confused than you did when you started because you're not getting the support or the collaboration that maybe you were promised. Things aren't moving along. This is very interesting. This is a very interesting reading. So, yeah. I think this does give a little more detail in that. And the Page of Wands can be impulsive. The Eight of Wands in the upright is a very quick, fast-moving energy. So again, that impulse. We have a lot of wands here. So there's definitely this feeling of movement forward, of excitement, of direction, of impulsivity, of exploration and adventure. But there's no reward and there's a lack of support when it comes down to putting in the work. When it comes to the hard stuff, when it comes to putting time and resources into a shared goal, it's like it's not there. Something that you were promised hasn't come to pass, but you were given all of these fluffy ideas about what it is and what it could be, but when it got down to the reality of the situation, and maybe you're starting to see this unfold, that you're realizing that you are not in the place that was either promised, or you're in a place that makes you feel a little unsafe. So now I want advice, because I almost get this feeling of stuckness, like I've made this decision and I can't go back. Well, first of all, I want to ask, is that true? So, let me get some tea leaf cards. Do I want tea leaf cards yet? No. I'm even feeling a little scattered and lost in this because I don't know what decks to pull from. I just feel so unsure. And oh my gosh, there is a fruit fly flying around in front of me right now. So it's like I cannot get away from these things. And I almost feel like that's your energy too. It's like I cannot get away from this. Maybe you've been trying to put distance here. We need advice, Spirit. We need some hardcore advice for this. What is going on? We need advice. Give us strength. And it fell on the floor. Tap your resources. Ooh, I like this. Tap your resources. There's some resources here that I think you are not seeing, and I almost wonder if it is an accumulation or an amalgamation of resources that you have to bring together. Okay, so maybe there's a support network that can help you. What else? Defying gravity. So again, moving away from it, you have to defy all feelings of what am I trying to say? You have to defy the feelings of, gosh, what am I trying to say here? I feel like you're being pulled back, pulled in, pulled down, pulled into the storm. So you have to spend time figuring out a way to defy gravity, to move up and beyond. Maybe elevate your vibration. Raise your vibration. What does the book say on this? What's so interesting, this one's talking about the burrs that gets matted into a dog's coat in autumn. We've been pulling out burrs in our dog's coat because he gets into the bushes. The ones that prick your fingers and refuse to come untangled. Yes, that is this situation. I feel like no matter how hard you try, you can't get untangled from this. Okay, so self-esteem could be something to work on here because this does reference self-esteem. Build yourself up with sweetness. Once she sets her sights on breaking up crusty soil or shifting old habits, she's persistently relentless. So how can you break up the soil and shift old habits? So is there a habit that you keep returning to that maybe keeps you in a bit of a cycle? Or this feels like a karmic relationship, a twin flame relationship, a narcissistic or manipulative relationship. Is there something that you need to root down into in order to prevent yourself from being sucked back in? You have to defy the gravity of this person. And the book also talks about who you count on when you're feeling burned out and your soul is malnourished. This person is your hearth fire. So does your hearth fire need to be tended to or relit? So again, I'm getting that stepping back. I'm also getting hermit energy from this. So cutting off communication, if that's possible, doable, and sustainable for you, at least for a temporary time, to be able to find your roots again, to find your ground. Because I feel this person has really ungrounded you. There's a lot of blocks to movement forward. There's a lot of blocks to seeing rewards. There's a lot of blocks to working together. I feel like no matter how hard you try, you will not be able to crack this code. So this feels like a very powerful energy that you will have to work towards untangling. Let's get some tea leaf cards. I usually never do this, but this feels called, I feel called to pull more cards because it's pretty heavy energy. It's pretty, yeah. Oh, so this is a temporary situation. Why can't I shuffle these tonight? Okay, let's just look at what came down here. We have pay attention to your work. And I'm immediately going to the Three of Pentacles for that. So it's like how you're working in the situation, what's not working in the situation. And then we have temporary situation. So I feel this could very well be temporary. I'm going to put that right on there just so that we, make sure that all that glitters is temporary. What else? Lighthearted, carefree time. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But Jug, I almost get the feeling for this that you have to find ways to fill up your cup. Maybe this has been quite draining for you. And maybe you're moving towards, because this was the kind of, I don't want to say when we're looking at past, present, future, if that's how we want to look at it. If this is in the kind of the future position, I feel like there's better times ahead. There's more lighthearted and carefree times ahead. And I feel like it is attached to the defying gravity. So I feel once you've put in the work to truly move away from this, or find that distance at least, so that this doesn't have as much impact, I feel like you're going to have a more lighthearted, carefree time, because this little boat here is moving into the storm Whereas on this end, we're feeling a little more lighthearted and carefree. There's also doves here on this end of the table, which make me feel like there is a little bit of hope in the shadows here. So resources, connecting with folks that can help you, or if you are dealing with narcissistic personalities, Dr. Ramani is she's got some awesome videos. I highly recommend it. I'm also reading a book called CPTSD From Surviving to Thriving, which is excellent. I will put both of those in the description box for you to check out. And I think that is the defying gravity, because there's something that keeps sucking you back in, but you have to find ways to heal something to officially move on from something for good. So I am getting a little bit of karmic, maybe a karmic pattern or some kind of pattern that has been on repeat for some time. And I think in order to transmute that and move into a lighthearted, carefree time and moving away from this, I think it has to come down to the work that gets to the root of the matter, the heart of it all. I do understand that these situations can be more difficult than, us readers make it sound. I know this from experience. Because maybe you already know what you need to do, but the actions or something's not sticking. Or someone's sticking around even though you've told them what your boundaries are, what you expect, what you would like to see. You could have already set some boundaries. If you haven't, then maybe look into how to do that, how to set healthy boundaries. But also, this person might not really care what your boundaries are, because that's almost like a challenge for them. So I would almost say you have to live your boundaries. So and almost not give them any chances to sneak back in, to pull you down. And that's the defying gravity, is to show them through action. I think, actually I'm being called to do one or two more cards here. Embrace the success of failures. So don't be too hard on yourself. And one more. Ooh, I just saw the boundary card. Protect your peace with boundaries. So I definitely feel like boundaries could be helpful here. And maybe not just saying your boundaries, but actually living them, expressing them, taking action. Ooh, and release entanglements. We talked about that with the burdock. And limiting beliefs. So there could be there's your star, the all that glitters. But don't feel like this is a failure, because this is an opportunity to do something different. I feel like the door is opening to do something different here. And Spirit wants to acknowledge what's happening. They want to acknowledge maybe where you're at in this, and give you a little bit of insight and inspiration to how to move through this officially for good. So don't be too hard that it keeps happening or it's happened again. And, I feel like you could be quite hard on yourself during this time. Don't. This perception of failure, especially in a situation like this, should not exist, because it's very difficult. So ease up on yourself, and to find your strength to be able to push through and be resilient, and continuing to show up for what it is you desire and what it is you want. And don't be swayed by somebody who is trying to gloss over the hurt, the manipulation, the lack of accountability with shiny things, with beautiful words, with promises, and not following through on those things. And release your entanglements and limiting beliefs. So don't show up, especially if this person has done this on repeat, and the dynamic has been on repeat like this for a long time, and nothing that you do has changed things. This could be a time where you start actually taking action and moving away from getting that distance from this person, limiting your participation. But I feel there could be some limiting beliefs here. And the decisions regarding this person or this situation may not be easy. but they could be quite beneficial once the decisions have been made to move away from, to detach from, to break up from. It's hard. I wish there were easier ways to move away from this, and there's almost an unfairness that's coming through, because why is this happening to a good person like you? And I agree. It's not fair that bad things happen to good people. And so we just have to do our best in these situations and be really, really compassionate with yourself. Know that you're doing your best. Know that you're doing the work to improve the situation. And just having awareness of what's happening, I feel, is so important, because a lot of the times we just do this thinking it's our fault, and oh, maybe if I did this or did that, they would change or they wouldn't do that. And we always internalize and personalize these things, thinking that it's us, when we come to the awareness that it's not us. It never was us. And we are just the kind-hearted people that these people use and abuse. So just that awareness, I feel, is important. Awareness of what's happening and seeing the dynamic for what it is. And just having that distance, I feel, will give you that perspective shift of, oh, this is happening again. I see what they're trying to do. And you'll be able to at least navigate around that a little bit and limit your time with them, limit what you share with them, use different rules when dealing with them. And that might be a little uncomfortable, because you might not be used to ghosting people. You might not be used to shutting someone out or not sharing your emotions or your feelings with somebody. But I feel in this instance it's okay, because they have had their VIP access revoked. And that's okay, because this club that you're building for yourself is exclusive, and it is only for the people who offer kindness and support and gentility and love, and don't make you feel like you're going crazy or that you're the problem and that you're not enough, whatever the case may be. But so I will leave this here. Hopefully there is something here to help you in this particular situation. And if you'd like to dive deeper with a personal reading, I'm happy to do that for you. The link to book one is in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you love. Stay curious, and I will see you in your next reading.